Hello everyone.
Welcome back to another episode with us. Today we have a different setting for you. We are in Cafe Confetti in JLT and we're doing a special Summer's edition.
So what we've done, we've asked you a question last week on Instagram and we got some responses and we got some tips from other mamas telling us what do they do when they travel with their children. The question that we've asked was, what are your top tips for traveling with babies or young children? First response that we got from one geek of a parent is, I always carry stuff that instantly reminds her of home. For example, her favorite dairy or book, PJs, etc.
That's brilliant. I always do that with my son. I always bring the car that is his favorite at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel it's great. He has something to hold on to in the plane, something to occupy him, and also something to give him a sense of belonging when you go into an environment that they're not used to, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a good tip. I personally, I do both actually. I take something that she's used to at home, usually it's clothes, where like you can feel the smell of the clothes at home, you know, so she feels reassured that it's still us, even though we're going somewhere else. But something that I read somewhere that I always do and it really works is to take a new toy, to take something new as well.
To have like a new positive association with the fact that you're traveling.
Exactly. Yeah, something that she can actually play during the flight, or at least remember that was introduced during that holiday particularly.
Yeah, that's cute for them to look back on as well, right? To think, oh yeah, that's when we went to X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And it works. Yeah, 20 hours flight so far, we've survived. So
that's a crazy situation.
I know, right?
What else do we get?
We've got, Dubai Mom says, she mentioned, we always try to have direct flights.
Same. So far, we've always had direct flights because I'm just terrified of doing like a 2-hour up and down and then another 2-hour. And one thing that I would add to it is that for timings, I always try to pick the night flights.
Yeah.
I know some moms recommend not to do that because they think that they're losing if their child doesn't sleep. They'll lose an entire night's sleep. But for us, it's worked so well. My little one, knock on wood, so far, it's worked every time. He falls asleep during taxi or takeoff, and he wakes up like half an hour before we land.
So lucky.
9 hours to Bali, and he slept 6.5 hours of those.
Amazing.
Yeah. So for me, nighttime flights, direct nighttime flights work the best.
Interesting. Yeah, I think for young children, it's good to continue the night routines if you can. Obviously, if you have to go to destinations where you have options of flights as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go to destinations, talking about my experience, you have only one chance to get home, and the flight is not even direct. So you have to deal with it,
What do you do when you're in the airport in between?
Oh, when you're now if you stay on the plane, it's a bit easier because you still have the resource of the TV. Or maybe she's still asleep from the moment that you landed, so you kind of have that break. But if you have to disembark, you just have to. I mean, you're exhausted because you're already been through a long leg of the trip, and then you have to, just keep an eye on them. The airports could be quite intimidating even for adults. Imagine for kids. So,
That's a tough one. That is.
Yeah. Tell us what you do. How do you handle? What kind of flights do you choose? And what other comments have we got? Okay, I love this one. It's very interesting. Up to our question, style your day studio. She replies, "Did you mean surviving the holidays with the kids?"
I think we've all of us been in those kind of situations. And I can tell one of those stories was when my son was 5.5 months old and we took him back home on Christmas break. And I was still breastfeeding at the time. And for some reason, when we were up in the air, I don't know if the pressure was different or I don't know what changed for him, but he had trouble latching on properly. So he didn't drink anything. He didn't feed at all. So he just cried for 45 minutes, me walking up and down the aisle with him, rocking him to sleep until finally exhausted and hungry, he fell asleep. Listen, the moment we landed, he latched on, he drank, he was fine. So my tip is, if you're breastfeeding and you're formula supplementing, take formula on the plane, because obviously we all know it's so much easier for them to drink from the bottle, and that will just make it easier for them when you're up in the air. So that's one situation that I survived.
And I had a colleague talking about this formula, how to take the formula, right? So this colleague from work, what she used to do, like to have like different, say, when she had twins, so she had more of it, but like different sets of like changing, feeding, that she would just take out of her bag and it's already ready to go, let's say, let's say, so yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is scramble up in the air, people probably sleeping around you, and you don't want to disturb other passengers. I think that's always a concern for moms, that we feel like we're disturbing others with our kids, when in reality
it is what it is.
They are kids, right?
And they're passengers as well, the plane or the train, whatever we are. So yeah, deal with it. And then our lovely friend, your Princess Eden.
Hi, Mika.
Hello,
Eden.
Hey girls, they were in the show. Please watch their interview. It's amazing. They talk about social media and kids. So
come to YouTube and check them out.
It's really good. She says they discover new people and places, new food, and they make new friends.
I think that's really cool. Yeah, and I think it's great for them to kind of get out of their usual surroundings, because it opens their mind to a different set of experiences.
Yeah.
And one thing I would say is, if you have friends that live in another country that have kids, bring your kids, visit them. This is what I did with a friend of mine. She came for 3 weeks to stay with us. Her little one is 7 months older than my son, and the two of them had a blast. And sometimes we think, oh, they might not remember. They're too young to remember that holiday. Is it even worth taking them out and stuff? It so is. This little girl, until this day, talks about her trip to Dubai, where she went on a plane and visited her friend who lives in Dubai. And she still has memory of different things that we did, and I think it's so cool for them to experience that different world and give them a completely different view of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like I was telling Nina earlier, like back in the day, I didn't, or before Allegra was born, like I didn't think that traveling or taking them out of their normal environment would actually be useful, because they wouldn't remember. But now I think differently. Now that we have done it, I realize how much they actually learn in the different environments, and how much is embedded into their systems when they grow up as adults, because we sometimes have traits as adults that we don't know where they're coming from, and it's probably from those places that we've been exposed, or those situations we've been exposed as children, and traveling is, how can it be negative experience?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm now a strong believer of like bringing them out, and taking pictures as well, because sometimes you don't remember that you've been there consciously, but when you see the pictures that your parents can show you,
then it feels like something familiar to you.
Exactly. So it's nice. What sort of destinations? So you recently been to Cyprus?
Yeah, we went to Cyprus, and it was really great, because we spent the first couple of days in a resort type of place, and then the last couple of days in an Airbnb, which was a private villa with a private pool. And that was really nice. For someone so little as my son, who just turned 2, it was great to not have him get lost in a big pool with bigger kids who were splashing a lot, and it was really nice for us to be able to focus on him like that, and just for us to relax, to be able to follow our routines as much as possible, to give them still that feeling of they know how things are done, be able to cook the stuff we want at the time we want it. It was really good. And I feel with little ones like that, sometimes we think, they can't really appreciate what you do with him, but just taking him to the beach, having him discover the different temperatures of the oceans from one side of Cyprus to the others, it varies so much. One is pebbles, one is sand, some are warmer, some are colder, the water, and you could tell that he just blossomed so much just by that experience. It was really, really nice.
It's a good idea to mix the accommodations, I think, because again, it gives you as parent the chance to have the two sides of it. While in the villa, perhaps you might have to be looking after him, 24/7. Perhaps in the resort, interacting with other children and stuff, it's a little bit more, like freedom, to experience the facilities of the place that you're going for. And it just reminded me. I met some friends. They were in Rome at the moment in Italy, and they were with a 1.5 years old. And I remember asking them, like, you think this is useful? Is a proper destination for this child? To experience, to remember.
Yeah.
And they were so convinced that yes, the child. They were in different parts of Europe at that stage. And when they got back to Argentina, to Buenos Aires, it's immensely how much the child had developed
Yes.
just from like
Yes.
10 days trip. So I think it's not too much about the destination, it's more about like the actual experience itself,
What it does to the development of a child, I think that's the key thing that you're saying. I think when you come back from a trip, there's like this period of a couple of days and suddenly you see your child making leaps and bounds forward because something is triggered within their development and they just shoot ahead somehow. I realized that just recently when I took our son home to Germany. And then we came back and suddenly no more pacifier needed, sleeping in his own bed without the bars in front, and like so many positive changes happened that I just feel it's so worth it just taking them out and taking them somewhere and then reaping the results and the fruits of your labor afterwards. Definitely. Now there's one thing I'm curious about. I know that you had a little bit of a medical emergency on a plane, and I think that's every parent's nightmare. Tell us about it.
I'm telling you, so this I'm going to give my advice at the end. So we were going to Buenos Aires. It's 20 hours trip from here, from Dubai, where we live. And my daughter, she was below 2 still, so she would have to be on my lap basically. She didn't have her own seat. So she was perfectly excited, about traveling. And, we always have like this small routine. Yeah, we packed together, making her involved and all. We sat on the plane, and as soon as we took off, I started feeling that she's having a little bit of a temperature. I did not want to actually accept that I was in temperatures. I was trying to think, okay, maybe we've been under the sun a lot here in Dubai, it's hot and stuff. Until it just became unbearable. So it was like half an hour after we took off, she was super hot. She had a fever. So I informed the flight attendant, and they were very kind. They measured her temperature. They gave me a wet towel to put on my forehead and all the systems I do. And she had 39.8 in a plane. I was alone with her, 20 hours trip ahead.
Oh, no.
So you can only imagine how I was feeling. I did not have any medication with me. Nothing.
That's your advice.
I had no. So that is my advice. Take paracetamol for children with you because
just
really,
in case.
Just in case they do have on the plane, thank God. But you know what? As a prevention, I would always recommend you have your own because it saves you. Within 15 minutes, you give them the paracetamol, they're fine again. And in those situations, they're extreme.
Yeah.
It's not about not trying medication for me or anything. I wanted her to just drop the temperature. I could not handle it. No, I was lucky because we were going home. So 3 doctors came to the scene. One was a pediatrician. They told me she had pharyngitis. It was nothing to basically worry about. But it's one of those situations. Really,
it's one of those situations that you survive.
Yes, you go through it. Don't worry. Yes, it happens.
Exactly.
And let's see what else we got here.
Any other topics that come to mind?
Yes. So, how to pack to travel with kids?
Oh, I don't think I'm the best person to ask because I always have too much stuff and I always have to either redistribute at the airport or I have to pay fines. So,
what do you take?
Everything.
Wow.
No, I think it's more about the times when I bring stuff back and then I'm overweight.
When we come back from our home countries.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't think I pack crazy. I don't take too many toys. I don't take too many clothes. I just take, and obviously it will depend on if you can wash where you're going, or if you can't. Depend on that. If you're lucky, if you visit your family or your friends, and you can wash your stuff, just minimal pare down. And take a couple of things that are really important to them. That would be my advice. And then try to pare down on your own stuff.
Mm-hmm. I did 2 types. Like initially, we used to pack together, same suitcase for both of us, and the stuff we used to take, Yeah, it was mainly like because you always get a lot of presents when you come back as well.
Yeah.
So the suitcase going was pretty empty. Coming back it was packed. Or I might have needed one more, like you said. And now we pack separately. So she has her own suitcase. I have my own.
Oh yeah, we do the same. Like he has this little yellow suitcase that is his, and he knows it's his. And when it comes out, it kind of preps him for it because he knows we're gonna travel. It's his suitcase, and rolls it through the apartment.
Yeah, one very nice. It's like a bag. It's like a hand luggage, really for kids. You might have heard of it, Trunki.
Yes, do you have one?
I would have a Trunki, yes. And it's amazing.
Do you recommend it?
I recommend it. Yeah. It's super fun. They're still in the mood of like playing when they're traveling. So basically, we will show you a picture of the Trunki on direct to their website. It's you just sit on it, and they just like push forward with it, and
like
it's a suitcase.
car.
Yeah, so that's what I pack for things for the flight. You know, I take my own mini bag for myself, and the snacks and stuff. But like all the changing things, the snacks, toys, so whatever comes with us, it goes in the trunki. So she knows that's her thing during the trip. Yeah.
See, for us, when I travel alone with him, then I have my backpack. I have like a long backpack.
Yeah.
And I have his changing stuff in there and snacks and whatever, and a book for me, and if I ever get to read. And then I have the pushchair that folds down from Giggles. It's like the Yo-Yo Zen that folds down, and you can put it in the hand luggage compartment, which saves me because then I don't need to sit and wait at the special baggage department, whatever, and I can just roll him up to the plane, take him out. I have the bag, I have the stroller, I have my son, and I just go in. I'm not dependent on anyone, which I think is the main thing.
Useful.
When I travel with him is to not have to depend on anyone and to be able to rock this on my own. That gives me peace of mind, even if afterwards I ask someone or someone offers, but I know that I can do it on my own.
Yeah, those strollers are another
Yeah.
It just fits in the plane. Some of them they even fit within the aisle. I don't know.
No, mine doesn't. I tried it the other day, unfortunately it doesn't, But they're really cool,
They're very cool, very useful, If you have any other to recommend, again, drop a comment.
Yes, please, the one that fits in the aisle, drop a comment below because that's the next one. Because I think the one I have goes until 15 kilos, so we have another couple of kilos for him to reach that limit. And once I'm over that, I'd be looking for something else to purchase, so we'd love to have your recommendations.
Do you do any specific seats booking?
Yeah, I always book the bassinet seat, although he doesn't go in the bassinet.
No.
I have the feeling that it allows me for him to stand in front of me and like wiggle and wobble around a little bit, and if he wants to jump up and down, he can do that there. Yeah. And he has a bit more space.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
because
especially
there are passengers in front of you. We're talking about economy class,
Yes. I wish we were talking about something else, but
hopefully in a few years, Nina, we will be talking about.
Yes.
Anyways,
hashtag goals.
In economy, so you have the passenger just right in front. So if they want to stand there, they will disturb the person. Oh, I just remember a super tip that a mom told me to do when she travels with her child. She packs like maybe 10 goodie bags for the passengers around her.
That is so cute. I love it.
So she puts like maybe some candies, a letter saying, sorry if I scream, it's my first or my whichever number flight.
That is so awesome. That's so thoughtful.
I'm the name of the baby and the life. It's lovely to be your neighbor during this amount of hours.
How can you be upset if you get a goodie bag,
Exactly, and they put some gifts for the passengers sitting beside.
Brilliant.
That's really good, actually. I never done it. I always forget it when I'm planning a trip, but I always thought it was awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the next one. Very nice. Quite a tip. If you have any other tip for people to like you when you are ladies in a plane, just let us know. Why not? iPad, yes. iPad, no.
So my son doesn't have a tablet. I don't have an iPad. Dad has one, but I have my phone, and that's kind of the equivalent if we talk screen time. And yes, I do have it. I try not to use it during travel time. Again, using night flights and him sleeping, I don't really necessarily need it, but I think if I was on a day flight, yeah, I would take it as a last resort to be used sparingly and responsibly, as we all do.
Yes, to screen time. Yes. Again, I love how Nina described it responsibly. However, it's always a backup plan. That's my first backup plan.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it actually takes pressure off not just us, but also them.
Yeah.
Because I think the more nervous we get or anxious we get, and the more pressure we put on them to be still, be quiet, sit down, don't move, don't breathe. I think that also stresses them out. So if they have the release of pressure by just sitting back and watching something, it also puts them in a calmer mood and then sets a positive tone for the rest of your journey.
Yeah, no, I think it's why not?
Yeah.
Although you have the screen of the plane, so that's like they have different stuff there that they don't usually have. So I think maybe that could be to go. But yeah, the iPad is always there for airports, connections if you have to, things like that. Maybe, cool. What about food? Do you take snacks? Do you take extra food for the flight?
So I don't, because he's sleeping at night or during the flights. I have like a little bit of like a cereal bar, little snacks, that kind of stuff. Maybe like a fruit squeezy or something. These things, yes, and obviously I take his formula. And then usually he has one formula when we taxi, and then it's it. So do you take?
Yes, my daughter loves to eat. Oh my god, yeah. That is the moment for snack time. Like, but
unhealthy snack time.
Unhealthy snack time. Yeah, that's when I allow her to eat. Yes, 100%. Because I want her to relate it to something like it's not usual that we're in a plane. So
the exception.
Exactly, it's the exception. Yeah. So, anyways, in my family, this is like a very common thing. Like since I'm very young, it's a tradition. Yeah, we always take snacks according to the amount of hours you're going to be in the plane. It's the amount of snacks you take. So
the longer the hours, the bigger the bag.
Very common. Very common. So yeah, so that's traveling with kids. Please let us know what you do. How is your experience? Where have you been? I mean,
where have you gone with them? Japan, like Mama Mika is impressive, right?
Yeah, imagine Japan with a child, honestly. There's so many places.
Give us your comments, give us your feedback, let us know your tips and tricks. It's the end of summer now, but we'll be traveling again very soon. We all do. So we'll look forward to your comments. Come over to our Facebook page, come over to Instagram, and please subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you'll get directly informed in your email whenever we upload a new video.
We want to get to know you. We want to hear your stories.
Yes.
And like we always say, for all mamas out there, trust your instincts.
And think like mama. Bye.